Oh my God, I was just chilling listening to this song. Guys, Holly Bailey's new album. Listening to it. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. I am so excited for to be with you guys this I was gonna say morning, but it's afternoon now. Welcome in. I will wait for some of you guys to get the message. Did you get the memo? I'm sending y'all a message. Oh, okay. I guess the sound is good. It's on. The mic is on. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. I am feeling so good today. I'm really, truly, truly pumped and feeling blessed. I slept like a baby last night. I don't even know. It was just good vibrations. It was amazing. Welcome in, everyone. Back to Instructions for Humanity, guys, Spirit of Consciousness. I'm going to wait for some of you guys to come in here and we're going to talk about was Charlie Kirk worth more dead than alive? I found something very, very interesting. You guys gonna want to take a look at. And also, too, we're going to dive into the meaning of the name Erika and why she might be a ruler and an invasive species. You can't make it up, y'all. It's not me. Like they literally put this stuff in our face. Thank you for checking in on the sound. Can be welcome in, Sister Sonia. Hi, Star Round 7. We will get this party started in a moment. But guys, more than half of you guys that watch this channel on a regular basis, girl, are not subscribed to the channel. Guys, I put my heart, my soul, my love, my passion, my energy into bringing you guys these messages. It's much deeper than just the psychic investigations and prophecies. This channel really here is helping us open up to an entirely new sphere of consciousness so that we can evolve and to make it to the new earth vibration. So please, guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Help me grow and put a like on the video when you come in. Welcome in, Buffalo Wild Wings. Oh, I missed you so much. It's so good to see you here. I was just thinking about you yesterday. Yeah, awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Whew. Guys, anything else I need to say? Oh, yes, I have discounted my signature session to the end of the month, quantum reading your spiritual diagnosis. Go ahead and book that, guys. It literally is life-changing because it helps you to see exactly where you are on your soul's journey. It's like you go to the doctor office and you get your yearly checkup. You need to get your spiritual diagnosis. How do you know what's going on? How do you know what you need to heal? How do you know what you're still struggling with, right? How do you know if there's not messages for you that will help your life? Literally. So please go ahead and book that, guys. And if you're interested in learning how to be a quantum telepathic healer like myself and I was going to say a supernatural hero. I don't know why I always say supernatural hero. Supernatural quantum healer, guys. Please email me instructions number 4 humanity@gmail.com for my course. Awesome. Oh, yes, we will have to definitely all catch up soon. Absolutely. Welcome in. I am Warrior present. Okay, cool. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Guys, I don't even know. I was watching like something in the financial sector this morning, and all of a sudden something popped up on my screen. And it was a picture of Charlie, and I was like, "What?" But hold on, I'm gonna show you guys what it is that I saw because I was like, "Say it ain't so." Say it ain't so that Turning Point USA is out here begging for money, girl. Then put Charlie's face on some silver coins. That's what I saw. And if you guys know anything about, the market in general, well, silver has been on the rise. And in fact, silver started off this year around $28 and then now it has gone over $54, but it's like I think it's around like 48, 49 bucks currently right now. We had a massive boom. When did we have this massive spike? You might add. Oh, well, I'm looking at it right here. It says September, silver broke the $40 mark. It has been trying to do that. It has broke the $40 mark in September. When did Charlie, so to speak, have the incident, right? September 10th, the day before September 11th. Do you see what I was talking about? how they literally tucked the Charlie Kirk situation into the energy field of September 11th. Because when you hear Charlie Kirk, what you're truly hearing subconsciously is September 11th, because it is attached to that date. So all of those memories on all of those things we were struggling with around September 11th come back into play. National security, right? Attacks on our country, terrorist attacks, right? Fear, death, destruction, economy. That's the energy field that they wanted to put us in. You know why? Much like I work on templates here in this channel. So we went through different templates: financial template, religious template, race template, and Akashic Soul template. Sources saying that's what they do. That's why they have to put us into this energetic bubble so that they can literally have enough energy to work on the template. Dang, I didn't know that you could use this stuff for evil too. I guess there's duality in everything. So yeah, that's why we were put in there, and that's why the Charlie Kirk incident happened on September 10th, so that they could clump it all into the September 11th vibration, right? And if you think about it, what else is in this vibration? It's also the doomsday clock. You know, remember the Y2K scare? This is when people start to buy gold and silver. It's when things are uncertain. This is the whole point that I'm getting at. Because remember, I told you guys, they already pulled out of this old financial system. They're literally doing a reset while the government is shut down. Money is being, changing hands. It's being transferred into digital currency. It's a lot going on. But I find it very interesting that when Sir Charlie, so to speak, had his incident, then all of a sudden now silver is skyrocketing. Okay, now listen, Charlie's face is on some silver back coins. And here, I'm just gonna show you guys. And I think Turning Point USA is the one getting the money. And remember what I said about Turning Point USA. Source said that JD Vance has acquired part of this company, part of the company, if not all of the control. Make no mistake about it. Source was talking to me this morning about this company. You know how there's this thing called eminent domain. So if you've been in real estate, you understand what that is. And what that means is the government has the right to basically purchase a property, your property, if the government needs it for something governmental, right? So if they want to make, a governmental building there, or a governmental whatever, then you have no choice but to sell. There is a law in real estate law that literally allows the government to take your stuff if it needs it for eminent domain, right? If it needs it for governmental usage, right? And so that's what's going on with Turning Point USA. That's why JD Vance is heavily controlling this company. That's why Vance was there the day they said they went to retrieve Charlie's body. That the hands were kind of all made of clay. It was very weird, that picture that she showed. And the casket is just like, why are you showing us that? It's like not appropriate. But they wanted to, like, no, he's gone. He's gone. Look at the clay hands. Look at him. That didn't really prove the point. But anywho, that's why he was there, because this is his company. They already showed you in broad daylight. This is his company, and it was taken by eminent domain. Make no mistake about it. It's literally given a CI operation here. That's what Turning Point USA is now. Literally. So you have to know that. So now, what are they going to use this for? Let me show you this really quickly. You guys remember Fire Marshal Bill? Let me show you something. If you got to be older. If you know, then you know. I don't know why I just said it like that. Okay, here it is, guys. Look, Sir Charlie. Sir Charlie, money medals. Look at this. Look at Sir Charlie. Isn't this crazy? Sir Charlie is legit, guys. Like, he has been memorialized, or whatever you call it, on a coin. I mean, the fact that you can go from YouTuber to debating college students 18 and 19-year-olds to being on silver that is rising right now. I mean, my God, I need to dream bigger as a YouTuber. I have to dream bigger because look at this. Look at what Charlie has been able to do, guys. And look, if you look right here, right above this orange button, add to cart, it says net proceeds donated to Turning Point USA. So was Charlie worth more dead than alive? Because I didn't see them doing this, to his image when he was alive. And what a coinkydink. The moment you, so to speak, pass is the moment your face is splattered all over the silver coins. And then the moment silver goes up in price and almost doubles from the beginning of the year. Is that a coincidence? I think not. I think we need to follow the money. So that's what I'm just posing a question. Was Charlie worth more dead than alive? I'd say so, because it looks like Turning Point USA is the one getting these proceeds. And remember, this silver would have not jumped up like this unless we had a major event. A September 10th event, perhaps, that rocked the nation, was plastered all over the news, just like the September 11th of yesteryear. I'm just saying, y'all. So this is what Sir Charlie. Oh, we got a Trump one too. Trump got in on the action too, y'all. It ain't just Charlie. Oh, look at there. President Trump. You're not using the White House to get rich at all, are you? No. Did Trump even graduate from high school, y'all? I'm asking a serious question because he gives me the vibes of someone that didn't go to school or that just paid someone to do their work. Like, that's the vibes that he gave me. I'm not even sure. But look, but it doesn't say where the proceeds go. But you can only imagine where these proceeds are really going, right? They can't tell you that is going into Trump's pocket. So who else got paid off of this? Here's another one of Charlie. Look at him. Took one for the team, did you, Charlie? Because we knew that silver and gold was about to go up. Because we are the ones that planned it to go up to capture the American dollar when listen, guys, here's the funny thing. Oh my God, here's Trump again. Trump got his name, girl, Trump then got his face on some money. And y'all telling me this ain't no dictator vibes, what I was saying last year. He got his face on some money, y'all. Look at this. We should buy some Trump's money. But it'll probably just end up back in the same hands of the people that we're fighting. This is crazy. Trump Marine One Gold. Note. Heirloom note. 100 milligrams of 0.999 pure. You see the game they're running? I'm about to point out the game. Who is this? Oh Lord. This is getting freaky. Trump, look at how Trump looks. Oh my God. I thought it was Statue of Liberty at first. Like this is scary. And wasn't Trump number 45 president? Look, $145.47. Is Trump the 47th president now? They put this stuff, guys, in plain freaking sight. And how convenient. 999. Are we not in the year of the 9? 999. 9 times 3 is 27. Break that down. 2 plus 7 equals 9. They are telling you it's the end of this system. And who's the controller of it and who's the ruler of it? Mr. Donald J. Trump. And this is why Charlie went along with the scam. And we're going to get to Erika and what her name means. It's very interesting. And why I told you guys she was always going to be bigger than Charlie because of what her name means. We're going to dive deep into that. So they're putting it right in your face. 45, he was number 45 president, number 47, I do believe. This is 0.999 pure silver. When you reduce that, you get 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. The year the 9, where the reset happens, where one world ends. When I told you guys they're already in the new world, this is what I'm talking about. They're already in there because they are literally building the monetary system of the new world. And they left us in this energetic cesspool of fear and scarcity and lack. Meanwhile, they're like the robbers, guys, at the end of the age. They're the robbers and they got out with all the goods. Seriously, that's, that's what's going on. This is upsetting to say the least, y'all. And so remember the video I was saying that Trump was doing something to our financial system, but Charlie was messing it up. Charlie was like, let's say we are on Noah's Ark, right? And let's say Trump is trying to save, right, us. Well, we know he's saving himself, right? And literally pack up all the stuff on the boat. And then at the end, when it's time to take off, Trump's going to cut the cord. And then there will be literally other countries on the other side, and America sails off, you know, into high heaven or whatever. So this is what a lot of the MAGA people truly believe, that no, Trump needs to do all these things because he's doing it for America to stay on top, which, you know, there is half truth to that. He is doing it for America to stay on top, but he's the one benefiting because he's the one who built the foundation. This is what I'm saying. And so Charlie was talking too much about Israel. Trump needed time because remember I said at the end, Trump will cut the line to them once the new financial system comes online, and he doesn't need them. But Charlie was putting holes in the boat. And so this was the solution to that. Look, Charlie, we got to make you disappear. We're going to go into Operation Charlie. There's too many holes in this boat, and I'm getting old, and you were supposed to take over, right? So there's too many holes in the boat. So what I'm going to need you to do is to go on this little, we're going to do this, right? And on the end of this thing, I'm going to give you a kickback. I'm going to let you in on the new financial system, right? Where everything becomes tokenized. Now, I'm showing you guys actual coins that you can buy and hold. But when most people nowadays buy gold and silver, they just go online and buy it as if they would to go and buy like a commodity, a stock, or a cryptocurrency. That is what it looks like nowadays. So I'm telling you, everything is going to be tokenized. And what that means is they are literally doing something to the debt balance to tokenize it. And to, I don't know how they're going to do it, but the plan is, this is what people are saying, that, you know, Trump would basically use Bitcoin or stable coins to essentially balance out our $37 trillion debt. So while all of that is going on, they're building the foundation. Yeah, that's good for America when it finally happens. But the problem is these guys have literally padded their pockets and stole everything out of the old system. You get everything I've been trying to say. So they stole everything out of the old system. Then they gave us the negative energy to bind us down so that they could heist everything. And like robbers, they like sneaking at night, like Grinch Who Stole Christmas with their little sack. And they got away with everything. Then now that they got the spoils out from this war that we've been in, from the old, you know, system dying, now they're setting up the new system. And now Charlie's face is on silver, and silver's going through the roof. And he already knew about it. So this is how he made his money. And yes, he's worth more dead than alive. He was incentivized to do this. whether he wanted to do it or not. He still made out good in the end. Him and Erika, they are literally Bonnie and Clyde, girl. They are. And I believe Erika is the mastermind behind all of this. Because Miss Erika's name, do you know what Miss Erika's name means? It means eternal ruler. I just so happened to look that up the other day and I was like, say it ain't so. Her name means eternal ruler. And that's kind of scary for her to be an eternal ruler. And then we look at Trump and his dictator vibes and all his moves that he's made. I don't care what no one says. Yeah, okay, it appears I know what he says he's doing this for America, but at right now, currently, he's the only person that has benefited. Him, his family, and his rich friends. You and I have not benefited from any of these moves that Trump has made. And then they want us to say, wait, we just have to hold out a little while longer to benefit. But that's the problem. Why do these people get to benefit today? And we have to always wait until tomorrow once they've drained all the money or once they're literally in there right now, the new financial system, and they are rigging the system right now to their favor is what I'm saying. That's why I was telling you guys to, literally, think about purchasing some coins, some cryptocurrencies, because there will be no more paper dollars. That's part of the new system. And of course, it will take some years to get that money out of circulation. But it's just like back in the day where you literally had to go and turn your gold in for the reserve note. They will do the same thing because what they're doing now with the silver and gold going up, they're going to pivot from that. Make no mistake about it. This is what source is giving me the playbook. So everybody got fearful because of the September energy, right? And then everything was happening with Hamas and with Israel over here and with Palestine and Gaza. It was too much going on. When people feel fearful and uncertain, gold and silver become a safe haven. They knew that. Part of draining the system is to get you to feel secure again, because people stopped investing as heavy. And so what they need to do was to create this disaster, the September 11th energy once more, to siphon you once again. Now put it in this gold and silver. This is God's money, right? This has been the money of yesteryear. It will last throughout the ages, right? Put your money here, but I'm here to tell you, they're going to drain that. It's just another vehicle to siphon. Have we made it clear on this channel yet, guys, that all they've been doing is creating these either debt instruments or, religious instruments, corporation instruments, Turning Point USA, or another corporation instrument, the United States government, which is a corporation, by the way. These are just instruments to move energy, money, the family jewels from one hand to another, from point A to point B. It actually never changes hands. It just only appears that way because all of these elites are all in on it. Remember, their children play in a sandbox altogether while they keep us divided. So there will come a time when the new financial system comes online, gold and silver will bottom out, meaning it won't be going up like it is now. And then they will have everyone once again in a commodity that they have just used to siphon, because that's only a prelude to the new system, which will be stable coins. That's what it is. So I say that to say that Trump's in on it. Everyone's in on it. And the draining the swamp, guys, all that draining the swamp, that Trump spoke about was literally draining from us. That's it. Was draining us so that they could get out in the middle of the night. And when we wake up, everything's gone. right? So I just had to say that. Guys, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Now, interestingly enough, now I hope that Trump does everything he says he's going to do, because is that going to be good for our country and for our debt, getting rid of our debt? Yes. And then in return, will it be good for us? Yes. We're just going to have to wait and see if that truly happens. But that's what he says. That's what he says. So we have to take it at face value. Now, guys, let's move on to Erika Kirk. And why I think that Erika Kirk was, I don't even want to call her a mastermind, but I think she was, because remember, she has that grand wizard witch working through her. One thing I want to point out is what Charlie means, right? So Charles is actually his real name, and it's a form of Charlie, which means free man. And Kirk, his last name Kirk, means church. Well, what we saw with him sitting on that chair, he was wearing black and white, which is duality, which is why you get the checkerboard duality. And the Masons, you go into Masonic temples, a lot of the times I have the checkerboard black and white floor. It's for that, right? For that duality, that black and that white. And so what we saw with Charlie sitting on that chair, I think he had a white shirt on and some black pants, I think, is the end of the free man and also the death to the church. Kirk means church. Okay. So what we truly get, if you're not free and if there isn't any more church, right? That's a whole system that has literally just crumbled. And remember, when we get this antichrist or we go into the one world government, they have to bring what? A new religion, a world religion. So the Kirk was always going to go. The church was always going to have to end for their new plan, you know, the prophecies that they put everywhere, so that you end up putting your energy into making it happen. That's the trick. And I'm so sorry. And I know what all the godly people say, oh, it's written and it's prophecy. And I get that. I do. I get it. And that we must endure to the end. And I get that. And I get that we do. But when it all comes down to the end, you're not going to use my energy to bring death and destruction to humanity. And I'm sorry, God, if that's your plan, but that's not what I feel comfortable doing. I won't do it. Will I be there to support the end? Will I be there to support how the chips fall? Will I be there to carry us higher into the new earth vibration? That's my job. But I'm not going to pour my energy into death prophecies. I'm not doing that. So, you know, and I'm not here to judge if anyone else wants to follow this thing to the bitter end with the plagues and the death and the disease and the destruction and the 7 years of tribulation and the horrible time where you can't eat and all of that. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to opt out of that part, and I'm going to have to head to higher ground, because that's not a part of this thing that I agree to partake in. Okay. So that's that. But I just wanted to say it's the death to the old system, because in order to bring about their end times with the Antichrist and they have to get to the one world government. Therefore, they have to bring a one world system, which also includes a new church, a church where everyone will be accepted. And you know what I'm actually seeing and hearing what sources saying is that they're going to give you money to go there. This is what they're going to use. This new church is going to help you when their whole system falls down. You're going to go there and be able to get, you know, food and stuff like that. And they're actually going to give you money there. But what you don't understand is that you're literally, when you take the money, the blood money, You're literally putting yourself into a covenant, making you literally a slave of their system. And then they're going to carry that forward. And then you're going to be on the balance sheet. Y'all, I'm channeling all of this, conscious channeling. You're going to be, when you agree to it, because we all got out of the blood covenant with these countries, right? And with their ways. Remember, Israel and America are one because they both got blood on their hands. They're in a blood covenant. And if you agree to it, and if you don't, have that sovereign soul energy, then you are actually part of that covenant. Well, we can get out now because now we see the truth. But here's the thing. If you start going to their food pantries and all of this stuff, and when they start paying you that universal income, that is you agreeing to get the hooks back into you and to be enslaved, and they're going to carry the balance forward because you now become a commodity to their new financial system. And you'll be traded once again on the stock market, but only this time you will be tokenized into a government-backed security or stable coin. I'm channeling this. This is just what Source is saying. Because remember, your birth certificate and all of that is traded on the dark web, on the stock market, that only the corporations can trade on. It's not one that we have access to, right? I'm talking about the big wells and all of that. That's what I'm talking about. That system goes away, but they're going to do it in another way through a stable coin. And you know what that's going to be? Remember, I was channeling that there would be some coins out of the what's that thing in Switzerland? Remember the thing in Switzerland I was channeling? The World Economic Forum. Remember I said there's going to be a world coin that comes out, and then also coins for like America, or even different countries will have their own sort of coins. So it will be the new coolest thing. Hey, buy a crypto that, is from your country or your state or whatever like that. That's what that's going to be. It's going to be an enslaved instrument. And they're going to make it a stable coin. And what that means is it's going to be a safe haven for your money. It's not going to fluctuate and have these big swings. They're going to make it so that everyone wants to partake in it. And then once you purchase that thing, that is the world, literally that world coin that I was channeling. And they're going to use that to balance out also the balance sheet of the debt. So I'm so sorry, y'all. I got to say it. I'm channeling all this. I'm so sorry, but the new system is planning on making us a slave once more. So we can just throw away that whole plan of what they say that Trump is going to do, because Source is literally allowing me to see underneath it all is you're literally still a slave. See, America was formed, Miss America, Miss Erika, and America, that's why they used her, because it's the same vibration, which Erika means eternal ruler. America is an eternal ruler, and a ruler needs subjects. Now, where did they get this original subjects from? Before America was formed, the Moors were occupying and ruling this land, and the Moors had subjects. So the Moors actually went into business with some of these Europeans, and essentially through paper genocide and through paperwork and manipulation, they end up getting their business taken from them, the Moors. And the Moors present day would be some of these people that people are calling African Americans. African Americans have Moorish blood, which is the Aboriginal, and then in addition to, of course, European blood and red Indian. There's red Indian, yellow Indian, and black Indian. So it's a mixture of all of those things. So I'm just telling you where the system comes from. So when the Europeans came here, there was already a system that had subjects. And I was just be honest, because, a lot of black people think that the big bad Europeans came over here and just created a system and, the slave. No, there was already the system going on here. It just wasn't like, it just wasn't as hardcore as as the way it became with slavery. But there was already that system going on. But they took it, and then, it became on a whole nother level, especially when the slave trade happened and when the Trail of Tears happened. It just magnified and amplified. But the whole point I'm saying is that Erika means eternal ruler. Erika is also in the word America, which is the eternal ruler. So why would you think that Trump would come and get us free when America means to eternally rule, to rule forever? And why do you think Trump is literally, Erika worked for Trump because I'm telling you, she is the blueprint of this system. Energetically, her codes are the blueprint of the system. That's what I'm saying. So what source is showing me is that it will still be a slave system. Now here's where you investing comes in. Since we know it will still be a slave system, since we already know what they plan to do, since we know they will get the paper dollars out of circulation, there's only about 5% of the world who holds cryptocurrency. Since you know that's the system we're going to, they're already there and their pockets are fat and full. They're already there. But 95% of the people are not there yet. So it becomes kind of this thing where, it's kind of that saying of what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but what I'm saying is, if you don't switch over to the system, this monetary system, the fiat is already dead. They're creating a new system, which they will trick the rest of the world. If the plan goes off like they want it to, they will take the world will be forced off of the gold standard. So that's what I'm saying right now, is gold and silver is rising. There will come a time when that will be drained too, once the new financial system comes online, because a new financial system will only work, this plan of what Trump has will only work if we can bring about now a crypto reserve, like Bitcoin, using Bitcoin in our treasury, forcing the rest of the world out of the gold standard. That is his plan. And so, since we know what the plan is, and since source is telling us they plan to make human slaves in the new system, question is, do you want to be a slave without the coins, or let's go say a house Negro? Sorry, that's just how I put it. It's both slavery, because they already built the system. Is either you're enslaved in the field, or you're enslaved in the house, is what I'm trying to say. So if you own some, you're enslaved in the house. You still get to eat and to, get air conditioning, to live, to survive, and it's much less brutal. But without it, you're literally in the field and you're getting your butt kicked from sun up to sundown. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's just what source has said in the analogy, that I wanted to give to you guys. So the old system is gone. The free men, what made us free was the gold, the silver, was the land. That's what made us free. And even to some extent, even though I'm not a religious person, but when you look back, there has been, back in the day, these homegrown churches. They have been good for communities, to keeping law and order, to keeping people, in, communion with people, to have community. That's when it was functioning good, outside of the indoctrination. But that is when I feel like it serves some purpose, but not as you see it today with the mega churches just draining people and feeding them, false stuff, and just draining them. So that all melts away, and we move into the totalitarian government, which Trump, being the Joker, the one that plays both sides, literally is in control. You guys seen it. His face is all over the money. It's literally on gold coins, statues. He literally spent what? How much money? Was it over $200 million to remodel? The White House is in rumbles. It's in crumbles right now because he is remodeling as if he is the king or the prince of England. Did you think he's planning on leaving? How long is that going to take, those renovations? Probably a few years. And I told you he never left. Sleepy Joe was never our president. So technically, he's been in office. What? This is his third term. And that's probably why he felt comfortable to go ahead and remodel because he's already been ruling this for some time. We've already had the dictatorship. They just show you different faces. But what we're looking at is the underbelly. You know, this is all the underbelly. So when you get Charles, right, Freeman, but something source want me to pay attention to is C. Remember Operation Charlie, C. This C just kept showing up, right? See, this is that Grand Wizard mothership, the 3-eye Atlas. But this, remember when we put the reptilian? That's the reptilian. That's Charlie's eyes, face, and that's the reptilian. Remember when we put these two together, the reptilian was speaking out it for Charlie, making Charlie spew this mutation to the nation. There's E for Erika. She's all over this thing. But what I'm saying is when we look at what C means, see, C is a code word as well. And I want to pull that up because I forgot what it means. But let me pull that up really quickly. Ooh, it says C is a powerful general purpose procedural programming language. Oh, okay. That's not what I was looking for, but okay. Hold on. I had it earlier. Okay, it says Charlie. No, it's Charlie. Charlie, and if you guys look at char, if you separate Charlie, the first syllable is char, which means fire. And we're in literally what the Revelations is, the fire and brimstone energy, right? So you get char and then you get lie at the end. This whole thing has been a lie. And then Charlie within itself is a code word representing the letter C used in radio communication. Remember, guys, when I was channeling Erika, that one day I was getting radio frequencies, like that was popping up in her field. Radioactive, like frequencies, right? So here's the thing. Hold on. I need to tell you what I saw about Erika Kirk's name, which will make you understand that these people never go anywhere. They don't die, they multiply. They don't. When you have a mutation, what happens? It spreads. That's all they do. And that's why we can't ever clean this up, because America has always been built on bloodshed. And what they're doing on slavery, that's how they built the first nation. Now their new world, or their new economic system or forum they're going into, is still built on slavery. The only difference is it's a digital slavery. So instead of humanity being literally on a physical land, picking cotton and all of that, they enslave you what? In the digital matrix that I've been talking about. I saw a digital matrix form, and there are people that they are using as the prototype. And Erika Kirk is one of those people because her name means eternal ruler. That is the plan of the digital matrix. That's also why they want to get the passport ID. This is part of their new land to enslave people, but it's in a digital space, is what I'm saying. So they don't have to necessarily enslave this body anymore. But if they enslave everything that the body uses, then you are still enslaved, is what I am saying. That's the whole point. That's what they figured out. Okay. So here's the thing. So that was crazy. I'm going to get rid of the Trump's thing and I need to go into something here. So it's very, very interesting that when I was looking into what Erika name means, I was getting, not only was I getting the eternal ruler, but it was also showing up as some sort of heather plant. And I need to bring that up really quickly. 1 second. Okay, 1 second. So when I looked at her name, it brought me to some sort of heather plant. And I was like, heather plant? What is that? And what does this have to do with Erika? Because the heather plant, one of the what do you call it? The species of it is literally Erika, right? So when I looked up heather plant, it says that a heather plant is considered an invasive species in some part of the world. Well, where in some part of the world? Specifically here in the United States, Canada, New Zealand. So Erika is a species of a plant, a heather plant, which is an invasive species. And guess what this invasive species does? It literally disrupts the indigenous plants. You can't even make it up. Remember the other day I said, why are all these indigenous feathers and indigenous energy popping up? I couldn't make sense of it. I was like, that's weird. Why is this popping up? But see, everything goes together like a lock and a key. It just have to give it time for the cosmic time clock to shift in our favor to look at these things. So this Erica species of this heather plant is invasive. You can't, like, there's ways you have to grow it or it will start to literally attack some of the other plants and specifically the indigenous American plants, the plants that have always been here in America. Do you get what I'm going with this? I was just talking about us being slaves and whatnot. And now we get within the new system, there's this Erica energy, which is part of still the America 2.0, where it's this internal ruler. But not only that, how they're building their new system literally is invasive to the original ones yet again. And so you have to be careful with how you grow it because then it can disrupt the indigenous plants, the plants that were always from America. So they found that this heather plant actually comes from Europe. So I presume it was brought over, during the time of, before the formation of America and at the beginning of, when we had the first 13 colonies, right? So that is very, very interesting. You can't even make this up. There's no way to make this up. These are the source codes. And part of the source codes are in your name. Like my name, Tahirah, means purity. My middle name means born on Sunday, right? And Erika's name means eternal ruler. And it's also a heather plant. And one of those species is named Erika. And it is an invasive species that attacks the indigenous American plants. And so you have to be careful with how you grow it. We got to be careful with how we grow this Miss America, Erika, because what do I keep saying? This whole thing, it is a mutation to the nation. This whole thing, they never die, they only multiply. These people just multiply and multiply. The same rulers of yesteryear is the same rulers of today. The same celebrities of yesteryear is the same celebrities today. And then what they do is they drain the swamp, us. They drain the system. They get away with their little bag, the little sack, creeping in the middle of the night with all of the goodies, right? Like the Grinch who stole Christmas. And then they take the new spoil, set up a new system, and then when the lights turn on, they are the rulers yet again. And you think you're free, but literally you're in the same system that they just literally stole all of your stuff and remixed it and spit it back to you as if it's something new. And so this is the cycle that we've been on. And that's why I'm saying be very careful with the end time prophecies. And like I said, I know me challenging that is challenging everything that we know. I know that. But I also know how these people operate. What a convenience. What a convenience to say we got to be a martyr for Jesus. I'm just saying, maybe it is true, but I'm posing a question. If Jesus truly did die for everyone's sins, then do we also have to die to prove that to Jesus so that we can get access to a good afterlife? Or is it more like what we saw with the scale of Mayat, where it's balancing out the cross energy? When you look at the cross, you're balancing out as above, so below duality, the good and the bad. You're balancing that out. You're reaching the point in the middle for transcendence. And then when you have the cross, the part of the T or the cross that goes out this way, you're balancing out the as within, so without energy, internal God, external God. Or is it more of that? I'm kind of leaning that it's more of that is coming into the gnosis that all things are connected, and that when we keep them separate, this is what causes this Miss America, this species, this eternal ruler energy. When you keep them separate, you literally get a energetic environment for a lot of bad things to happen. When you keep good and evil separate, evil can operate within its full power. And yes, good can operate within its full power as well. But the whole point is to bring everything back into the center, that point that meets in the middle of the heart. Because the reason why we have to do that is because of the original way that man was formed. Soul came up from the feet, spirit came down from the crown, and then it magnetized together and met at a point in the heart, which is the center point of the cross. That's how you fix the mutation of the X that has been showing up in all of these different automatic drawings. It's how you fix it, by balancing out that as above, so below, as within, so without. If you notice, there isn't any martyr within that. There isn't any sort of keeping that separate and literally you aligning yourself with death and destruction, because you haven't reached the duality focal point. You just now get reconsumed back. And in the afterlife, guess what happens when you get the life review? My work as a hypnotherapist who specializes in past life regression therapy, the death wound is very important. The death wound literally holds literally codes that you need to heal. Those codes stay with you. You come into this life with that memory subconsciously of the death wound of the last way you passed away. So if you're leading people to that, to take in one for the Christ who's already taken one for all of us, right? Then that is what they use to taunt us into taking another life. Because this is what happens with the archonic forces. They show you a life review, and then you feel that you could have done this better. You feel you got to go back and help this person. And you feel that there's something you didn't do because you never reached the duality focal point. You never balanced out the cross. You never balanced out the duality. You never transcended it. So in the one of the last few chapters of the Great Expansion, the book that I wrote, the Cosmic Bible, we explore the Father of Duality. That is a very powerful, powerful, powerful chapter, guys, where this being that holds both forces, both of the Satan archetype and the Jesus archetype, we can actually hear the reasoning behind each of the energies. And it's quite beautiful. It's not to keep it separate, and it's not to destroy the world, but it's for you to understand how to bring it back together for transcendence. We are not to stay in duality. We are to experience both the polarities of all, and to transcend. So the reason why I'm saying this as it pertains to our financial markets, because literally when they build a new system, everything is dead and gone to the old one, and then you get sent into a new energy field. You don't want to be in the new energy field with the same traumas. That's what keeps you recycled. So the cross is something we have to transcend. So by you aligning with the death and destruction of the Christ, without balancing out the scales, without lightening your load and making your heart as light as a feather, it will work to literally get you into heaven. But will it work to from keeping your soul from being recycled? No, it won't work, because you have not completed the formula, is what I'm saying. You've not completed it. You've only completed one part. So what I'm telling you is how to complete all of it, which is transcendence. And we can reach transcendence. We don't have to live. That's why last night was so important. We're going to get back to all of that. But last night was a very important video, because I was telling you guys, I was literally showing you all of what you need to do to leave this world behind, the old world behind. You have to learn the lessons. This year, the 9 allows the karmic mirror so that you can see what it is that your soul had been working on, and you have an opportunity to transcend it so that you don't get caught up in this reincarnation soul trap. You don't get literally put into the new system as a slave, but when you literally work through the codes and find the forgiveness in your heart for other people and for yourself, and when you love anyway, you love through the pain. This is what literally grants you access to your higher status in the new world. Otherwise, then you got that same, negative subconscious memories and trauma. And that's what also spiritually makes you a vibrational match to be enslaved within the new system. This is the point that I'm trying to make. Because physically, they can try to make you a slave, but if you're not a vibrational match to it, if you've done your own cleansing and purging and your subconscious work, then you can't be one, because the energy will not allow you to be that, is what I'm saying. Okay. So I had to get off on that tangent, but guys, I'm a spiritual teacher first. So, I'm always going to teach, right? So here's the thing. America has a problem, because America keeps planting this Erika plant because it has to. Because the only way for America to stay in power is to be this ruler that never goes away. And that's why it has to bully, we say bully the rest of the world and get into other countries' affairs, because America was created as that vehicle. The reason why America got funding was because a lot of other countries use America as a vehicle to do things that they can't do in their own countries because those countries are landlocked together. Our country is, literally it's separated by oceans apart from all of these other countries. Of course, we have what, Mexico, and we have, Canada attached. But what I'm saying is we're pretty much kind of free over here. They can't do those things because they're landlocked. So they use America to funnel some of the things they want to do. Some of those wars that they can't do, they send America to do it. That's what America was always for. It always had this energy, this invasive species energy. That's what I'm saying. And that's why Erika is a vibrational match to this. And I think it was Erika that was a vibrational match just as much as it was Charlie and what his name means. They both fit the codes for this, both of them. And they are worth way more money with Charlie Kirk being dead than they ever were with him being alive, is the point that I'm trying to make. And did you just hear what I said? Alive, but it was almost sound like a lie. And then we get Charlie, Char, and then Lee, which is lie, Lie. It's a lie. He's not dead. I mean, we've already explored that. We've already said it, but it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. And yeah, it was literally just a vehicle to drain the swamp, drain us from our energy, our currency, our power, and to literally position themselves into gold and silver as a instrument that they would use to suck and siphon every bit of even now the elderly, because that's what the elderly people put their money into, and they got them back, and then now they will drain it once more, going into their new system. And we want to say it just changes hands, but it never really does. It's always the same people. They just hide better. They just change meat suits. That's why I said when I saw Charlie's consciousness going into another man, they've always been body hopping. There's no secret that, people have been talking about this since the 80s, Trump having clones. These people have been doing this for a very long time. It's just us that don't know. It's all the same lizards. That's it. That's it. And that's all, folks. All right, guys. Oh, Erika is a weed. Oh, someone says Erika is a weed. Interesting. Erika. Yeah, so yeah, there's a plant. There's a plant called heather. It's like a flower. There's also another one too. There's a Erica Garnia as well, and that's another flower. Interesting. And that one, the winter health, winter flowering, spring. Yeah. Interesting, interesting, interesting. One other thing I didn't get into, and I don't know if I'll do it in this video, but let me just say it's very interesting. We spoke so much about Esau. Remember that Charlie Kirk was holding very massive codes into the Esau bloodline, but we never spoke about Jacob, right? Jacob was his brother that literally was holding on to his heel in the womb, always wanting to get the birthrights, right? Later, Jacob became Israel. I think God changed Jacob's name to Israel. Someone's changed Jacob's name to Israel. But it's interesting because Jacob means supplanter or heel holder, right? And then when I looked up supplanter, it's someone or something that takes the place of another, often by force, strategy, or being more efficient. So I'm kind of curious to see who is the Jacob in this scenario. And maybe there will be a false flag with Jacob. Or was what's that guy? What's his name? George Floyd, was he operating as Jacob? Because remember, Jacob would be more like the black race and Esau would be more the white race. Maybe that ritual, because Charlie Kirk and George Floyd, their birthday both is on October 14th. There's actually World Standards Day as well. There's a financial day, which is October 14th. It's called World Standards Day, October 14th, which was the same day of Charlie Kirk's birthday and George Floyd's birthday. And let me see, World Standards Day. Let me see what it is. Hold on. I remember I had pulled this up before. Hold on. I had to figure out what this is again. I don't like Wikipedia's thing because it gives you what it wants you to think that it is. It has something to do with our financial markets. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I think I'll say that for a different video because it's weird that they're draining all the energy, going into a new financial system, World Standard Day, which has to do with honoring something in our financial sector, and then George Floyd's birthday and Charlie Kirk's birthday is all on the same day. So I'm thinking maybe George Floyd might fit the Jacob, but I don't know yet. We'll have to explore that. But I'm kind of curious to see that kind of play out because I think it's going to give us a larger, kind of scape viewpoint into what is going on. Ooh, guys, someone don't want me to talk. My tongue just got a little like tingly. I think we're onto something. I think I need to explore that in another video. Oh, someone said, imagine that they all shared the B day, the World Standard Day. Yep, it's all about the Benjamins. It's all about money. That's what it was. That's why I was saying lie. I just kept pointing out lie. I tried to say alive, but it was coming out lie. And then the World Standard Day is literally has something to do with our financial sector. And then we get George Floyd, which made a lot of money for what, the Democratic Party. And then we get what, Charlie Kirk, which made a lot of money for the Republican Party. Do you see what I'm saying? They're just tools to siphon. And I'm telling you, this has something to do with Jacob and Esau. Like, and remember, Candace Owens is the mother of these two twins, of literally the Jacob, which later became Israel, and Esau, which is Charlie Kirk. And that's why Candace Owens was also standing up so much for Charlie, because she colluded in the first timeline with Jacob to, get Isaac to, trick Isaac to get some of the birthrights from Esau. And then now, I don't know. It's kind of it's all crazy and interconnected, but it all kind of makes sense that if we plug George Floyd, hold on, Candace Owens, if we plug George Floyd into the Jacob archetype and keep Esau, Charlie Kirk, into the Esau, then these twins, both George Floyd and Charlie, would be Jacob and Esau, which would be the twins that we saw in the womb of Candace Owens. This is Candace Owens. That's her face. You can see nose, chin, forehead. She's X'd out, true self X'd out. But in her womb, we got twins here. Those Jacob and Esau energy, what did I say? We flip it over because everything is inverted. We get this man here. We got a little, his hair or forehead, nose, mouth, and he has like some sort of beard here. But we got this energy, Jacob and Esau energy, being funneled back up to the Masonic order. This triangle is always my sign for like secret society, Masonic order. And remember who ate off of George Floyd? The Democrats. who ate off of the Republicans with this Charlie thing. The Republicans did. They are two sides of the same coin. They are following duality. They are transcending duality, focal point into a new monetary system, into a new financial system. But you guys won't know it. You think they're separate and they're not. But they've experienced both of themselves, the blue being, siphoning, and then the red siphoning under the red energy, and then back to siphoning under the blue energy and siphoning under the red energy. You know why they do that? What they understand, because when you mix blue and red together, you get purple. And purple is access to the divine. And what does the divine consciousness have? It has both light and dark, but they're not separate in the cosmos. We keep them separate, and that's the wrong thing. They keep it separate. They know that it's not, but they tell us that it's separate, and it's not. And so in order for us to win and to literally escape all of this stuff and all of these systems that they put us in, and even trying to cycle our energy back after death, and even trying to make us fulfill their purge prophecies and all of that, because they need to plug your energy into one of the characters, either the character that's going to go rogue or the character that's going to, be righteous. But nevertheless, they get away with it because theirs is together. The blue and the red makes purple, bringing us back to the divine energy, the divine consciousness. Theirs is together, and they trick you to keeping it separate. So the way to beat their system is to literally transcend duality. That forgiveness is so important. You can look at something happening in the world and detach your emotions from it. That is when you have transcended it. It doesn't mean you don't care, doesn't mean you don't give to the cause, but you're not going to go and volunteer and plug yourself into their energy field, because now they've got you in there too, siphoning not just from the event, but siphoning from you. And that's what they did with Charlie. They were able to eat good and siphon off of that event and to pad all of their pockets. But then everyone went in and plugged their energy cords into it. And then now they were able to siphon from other people. And they sneak in the back, tiptoeing in the middle of the night with all of our energy and all the spoils from this energetic war and shit show that we've been in. That's what I'm saying. So I think George Floyd was that Jacob energy. And remember, Candace Owens was talking mad stuff about George Floyd. And we was wondering, especially as a Black person, we're like, girl, Candace, like, girl, do you not know code or what? But it wasn't about that. It's because she's still operating out of Rebecca. And remember, Rebecca is using Jacob because that's their mother. So she's able to, not to say she's using them per se, but if you have children, you can, you know how to control your children and sway your children this way or that way. So they used her because they knew that she also fit the code because of her ties to biblical Rebecca. So they funneled this stuff, allowing her to talk about it on both sides, both on George and Charlie, because they knew that she holds the codes to them being able to siphon the energy. So they had to give it to her through her mouth so that she could spew it out so that they could actually get it. You see what I'm saying? So make no mistake about it. When you see people talking with 5 million subscribers, guys, think about it. And you see them talking about all this stuff, just know there's a reason why. And it ain't just because, and I'm not saying that Candace doesn't care about Charlie, because I believe that she does. But I'm saying, even if she doesn't know, the only reason why they let her speak for so long is because they needed our energy. Now they silenced her, even though she said she was taking a break. She was forced to take a break. They told her to stop talking. If you notice, people aren't really all the way riled up like they were about Israel. Is it real? Just saying. You still hear things here and there, but they had to use Israel to play a role. And it was a big risk because they were like, oh, what if people, start protesting and they want to take Israel down around the world? It was a big risk, but that was part of the plan too. for us to have the disclosure, because they wanted to escape the karmic rule. They have to tell you what's going on, because they need to be able to get into the new world, into the new template. They needed access into it. This is what they do, right? So it was all a game. But now they've silenced her because they don't need her to talk. They need to make Israel favorable again. And maybe that is still part of Trump's plan, even though Israel thinks that he's working with them, but Trump has another plan as well. It gets convoluted and complicated, but they needed to restore favor back. And so that's why they told her to stop talking. And then that's why Trump actually crashed the markets to pay off Israel for them to stop the war. And they never actually stopped, by the way. Yep, that's what's going on, folks. Okay, that's it. We're going to leave this video right here. Guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and like the video. And oh, what was I saying? So remember I was talking about the 3-eye atlas. And then I'm telling you something with the letter C. The letter C is the number 3. Right? So, and it's all just very interesting. So the 3-eye atlas is the AI atlas, which in this new financial system, I'm telling you, will be heavily AI. And so when I keep talking about where's this going, it's the digital matrix plantation, where they use the passport ID, and how they're going to get people to use it is not only just travel, but they're going to say, oh, it's, maybe a new pandemic will come out and we need this because it's going to be safer for the world to have everyone on this ID. I do see that as a possible way that they will get mass adoption. They would use health as a reason for it. So they may have to bring upon another pandemic in order to push that, depending on how much resistance that they get. This is what I'm saying. This is why you got to spend time with the source codes, because if you know the source codes, you will always have a way out. Always. Always, always, always. Okay. There's so much more I can say. Let me stop. Let me stop. Energy farmers. Yes. Hi, everyone. Yes, guys. Okay. All right. I'm out of here. I don't want to keep going on, but I love you. I love you. I love you. And so it is. Love is the way. Forgiveness, it is the key. And truth is the light that always, always guides us home. Be well, guys. Bye. Bye.